What is up, fam? It is October 12th. This is the Diginachi sequence. I'm Will Carr. Excited to be here with two of my great friends, Phil Spinoza, Duran, aka Crypto Heavy. Guys, been a crazy week, and next week might be even crazier. But before we get in and start talking about crypto, I just want to ask you guys, what's been some things you guys have been doing this week to stay active, to be healthy, to just get your body moving?
For me, I've been starting to get back into like the powerlifting training. So just doing like heavier weights, short increments, a little bit faster, just to kind of keep the pace up. But like just trying to do something different. I work out pretty often. So like just sometimes I got to mix it up just so I'm not getting bored because sometimes it get repetitive. You just go in because your body is trained to do it. So trying something new. I did it before like some years ago, but as I get older is less weight and just more for just the fun fundamentals of it. So that's what I've been doing this week, man. Just implemented that. So see how I go.
Nice, man. What about you, Phil?
Yeah, I'm right there with you, actually. I keep telling myself less weight, let's focus more on form and injury prevention, and I keep going heavier and heavier. And I keep hurting my shoulder more and more. But I'm trying to get more cardio in now that winter's coming along here. I'm trying to run more and just dial in my routine, tighten up things.
Yeah, I've been doing the opposite. So I've been getting back into trying to do heavy. So I'll just do whatever I think I can do for 3 reps. And then I do that 11 times on the minute.
Yeah,
So if
that's
I
all.
can do, three of these and then 45 seconds basically rest, three more. And that's been crushing me, man. I've been feeling pumped. I've been feeling good, but it's really that and just chasing my daughter around.
Look,
That's the
I'm
cardio.
happy that soccer season coming to an end. I've been getting ran around like a Uber cab. So like both kids doing soccer and it's coming to an end. So I'm very excited about this season right now.
Yeah. I never knew being a chauffeur would be like one of my favorite jobs.
Absolutely.
Well, guys, we're doing this episode without our homie XRP Sean. He's super busy this week, making his first ever short film. And I know he's getting really into it. I don't want to spoil the film, but I know there's even going to be an explosion in the movie. And he's having to hire like a like a legitimate explosive demolition team, I guess. I told him it'd be a lot cheaper if we could just put a bunch of tannerite in one spot and I'd shoot it with my high powered rifle. But he said he wanted to do it the right way. So, in honor of Sean, my hat and glasses going.
Wow.
Someone has to be. And my shirt today, my daughter says it's the secret XRP shirt. So
Nice. Like that.
I got my Nuggets, rocking my Denver Nuggets secret XRP hat.
That's
Let's go.
great.
What do you guys think?
I
Yeah,
like it. Represent. See you soon, Sean.
we got you, bro. All right, that's it. That's it for me. I can't look that cool. We gotta leave that for our boy. Um, but all right, man. With that said, guys, let's talk about the elephant in the room because biggest liquidation event in history, October 10th. The current estimates are 19.18 billion is the last I saw. So almost 20 billion liquidated, nearly 20x the liquidation amount from the COVID crash. So this is definitely no joke.
Yeah.
I saw certain coins like Atom, Cosmos, for example, went from $4 to less than a penny in the matter of 15 minutes. So yeah, guys. Any of you tied up in leverage or we all escaped that?
Yeah, I think that we like the normal holders, we don't play with the leverage. So, like watched a lot of people freak out, and I watched a lot of people was like buy the dip, and I was one of the people that was like buy the dip. So just seeing the opportunity and was able to accumulate a few. I was texting you guys like, hey, like this exchange and that exchange is not working, but I'm trying. But because this is just a good opportunity, and I haven't bought XRP to be honest in a while because it's been high. So like the opportunity came up and I was like, well, why not? You know what I mean? And, but yeah, it feels good not to have to worry that you lost a ton of money, you know what I mean? And that you doing it the right way because it's long term. So like I really didn't get too worried about it. I just thought it was wild that it just looks like control manipulation.
Well, in my opinion, if you know what you hold and truly believe in what you hold with XRP, there's no way you're going to risk leveraging your asset. You build wealth by stacking assets. And yes, you can stack assets with leverage, but this week just showed the inherent risk behind that. And for me, I have a lot of risk tolerance, but not that much risk tolerance. So grateful not to be involved. I feel terrible for people that lost so much. I mean, that's horrible, but I do think it was pure market manipulation. Yeah, and what I found so interesting this week was that one account, I forget what exchange it was on, opened up that short, and they ended up making $88 million. Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That
it was
was
shorts
crazy.
until a minute before, President Trump announced the
Yeah,
tariffs on China. And then today,
Right.
oh,
that's
it's just a
freaking
big misunderstanding. No one's going to tariff anyone.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's almost man, look, it's theater, man. It's really
it
theater.
is.
And I think that people that's been in for a while, like we see it for what it is. And there's so many people that get like so, worked up and like, angry about it. And I'm like, we know that this is the game that they play, and you have to be smart enough and just on your conviction as far as like what you hold to know that like it doesn't bother you. You either A, gonna buy more, you're gonna B, just stay still and don't do anything, or C, you got caught with your pants down. And some people did unfortunately get caught with their pants down. And I'm just happy that the people that I know didn't, just because like we do things the right way. And again, like those people who did it is unfortunate, but they play a really risky game and they know that. And that's the other side of the coin for that. You know what I mean? Is that you get liquidated. So
Yeah. I mean, I saw some guy on X talking about how he had taken 9 years to build a 30 million portfolio, but he had it all on cross and he lost every dollar. It's like you go from a 30 millionaire. And that's the thing people don't understand about leverage. It's not like you have $30 million, a coin drops 70%. So you got $7 million.
correct.
No,
No, you gotta pay it back.
It's zero.
Yeah.
You have no
Yeah.
money. Now you have
yeah,
nothing. If you want to trade again, you've got to take more fiat out of your bank account and put it into the leverage accounts. There is no writing it up or down. You are liquidated to absolutely zero. You have absolutely nothing.
And the way they liquidated that one, the how fast it happened, people couldn't even react in enough time. And they hit it, it dropped, like you said, like 40%, 50%. Nobody expected that on
no.
that day. You know what I mean? So if you leveraged out, then you're not expecting for it to drop 50, 60%. That you're getting called for that immediately.
Yeah,
You're losing everything. You don't have a shot.
there's no chance you can react to that one. You're toast.
No.
And even with stop losses, they won't hit if the liquidity's not there. If it just drops 50% in a minute, there's not a chance for your stop loss to even get hit until you're already liquidated. So it's a great example of even people think they can protect their positions with stop losses, but that's not always true.
Well, they said that some of the markets, it was hacked and that the stop losses didn't even react. So I can't remember which exchanges they were saying that for, but it was like it was all coordinated, and they were saying that like this it was like a hack, and that you couldn't even the stop loss, the market makers couldn't even utilize the stock like the stop loss. So like it was you got a situation like that, and then that much liquidity. Oh yeah, you're getting cooked. You're getting cooked.
No way around it. What I do find interesting is that the only time we've seen a pull down in the market percentage wise that looked anything like this was December of 2017, right before the super cycle began.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So
Yeah. So I may be a bit of a quote unquote moon boy or very much a believer,
yeah.
but if we see anything like we saw in 2017, what's about to happen, we're about to see crypto pump like anything anyone's ever seen because the market was so much smaller in 2017. And the difference this time is when they pump the market into the super cycle this time, institutions are going to be there. The large banks, the central banks, the true utility of this market is being turned on.
Yeah.
As we all know, November 22nd, that's the last day for every central bank to switch over to ISO.
Right.
So that is 6 weeks from now.
Do y'all get the feeling that like this liquidation that happened with these prices, with exchanges not allowing certain coins to be traded or bought, that this was like the last shot for like the big institutions to get in at these low ass rates? Like it just felt like they was setting them up right before you, like you just said, the 2017, like where it went parabolic. I believe the same thing. I believe it's going to go parabolic, but I think this was the last chance to get some of the big money, some of these institutions that's been waiting on the sidelines to get really good price points to get into these assets right before they pump it up.
Yeah, that's a good point. October 18th, ETFs are supposed to be approved, and this could have been the big market makers' last chance to buy in very, very low before the ETF spike and all the future hopeful price increases occur. So, yeah, that very well could be the case. It's a convenient plot line.
Yeah.
It's almost too convenient, to a point where you don't want to believe it, but it also is like so obvious streaming in your face. So it's
Yeah.
great.
It's just wild to me because it's like, we retail wouldn't have did anything like that. And it's just like how
Retail
just
can't.
like how things lined up, it was like, yeah, they was trying to make sure that they can get a little extra on the side right before we get the ETFs and some of this bullish information, right before the government shutdown ends and things like that. Like we have a lot of stuff that's on the table that is bullish. So, you know, it's one last hoorah for them.
Right. Well, and
Yeah,
like Phil
sure.
mentioned the ETFs that are all on the table that are on the verge of being approved. Duran, you just mentioned the government shutdown. That's another interesting place we're in. The SEC cannot approve ETFs while the government is shut down. Like certain things are happening, but if the government continues to say shut down, which I'm speculating, but I have a feeling that this might be the longest government shutdown ever. 35 days is currently the longest. I have a feeling that this might continue to go a lot longer based on what's happening in the world right now. Because the thing is, like, we can make comparisons to 2017. There's a lot of great technical analysts like Blockchain Backer, for example, who have shown repeated fractals of how these things move and why he is somewhat skeptical right now, which makes sense. There's certain things that he wants to see based on past patterns. But what I think is so interesting right now is we're seeing this happen into something in the financial markets that we've never seen before. And maybe I should say, because it has been 45 years since we have seen a breakout in silver. And for the first time in 45 years, silver's making weekly closes above $50 an ounce, strong closes, while we have gold at over $4,000 an ounce holding strong. Never have we seen an altcoin season. Crypto has not existed in an environment where we have things like precious metals breaking down. And that to me simulates that something is drastically different this time. This isn't some normal cycle. This isn't some Bitcoin goes up another 30%, starts to go into a retrace, altcoins go crazy. That's not where we're at. There's never been a point where anything remotely close to what's going on is happening. That we're in a whole new world per se. And depending on what happens with this government shutdown, slashing costs, like whatever, there's a lot of variables here that could make the financial markets, particularly blockchain, perform very differently than it ever has in any other cycle previously.
It also seems like with them having a government shutdown, a lot of the tracks that we've been talking about for so long, like just getting implemented, it's like they wanted to have a shutdown so they can have a clear shot to get everything moved over to blockchain potentially and to like really get the rails set up. So that way when we come back from the shutdown, they can say, well, now this is what we're doing. So in the future, we don't have X, Y, and Z happen, and it just feel like they like doing something else. It's like it's all planned out, and it just doesn't seem like it's just like a normal shutdown. This isn't just a normal situation that we run into where the precious metals are going up. Like everything seems very strategic, and like everything is like planned out. And we talk about it all the time, like in the crypto industry, in the crypto market, because we have like that kind of conspiracy brain and conspiracy thought process around stuff. But like a lot of this stuff just seems like it's adding up for, like you said, like a huge run. But it's like it's all pre-planned. Like they already knew that this was going to happen. They drug their feet as long as they could. They helped their friends get in at lower prices. They're setting it up so that the government can utilize crypto and blockchain technology. Like it seems like it's just all coming at a head. And yes, we have to be more patient because it's not happening at the timelines that they thought. Like it's like, oh, October, like it's like I feel like stuff is gonna drag a little bit longer, but it's gonna be the end game is still gonna be the same. One of the biggest cycles we ever seen for crypto.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, honestly, who knows? And that's where I'm at with all this is who knows? Because there is so much that's so different. Obviously, we all understand utility. We all understand the back end banking system, the plumbing that's being replaced. We just had Scott Bessent, the US Treasury Secretary, a few days ago on camera saying they're new payment rails. He literally says this.
Yep. Yeah.
His exact words were new payment rails are being implemented. You
Yeah.
know?
Wonder, yeah, is the government shutdown happening to allow for those payment rails to be onboarded
Exactly.
with the Treasury and Federal Reserve and everybody else? Yeah, it makes you wonder.
Yeah. And if they come back and they say something to that degree, then it's like we'll all know. But like the normal consumer, the normal American doesn't even understand what's happening behind the scenes. So they're still thinking about this left versus right, when in reality, it's a bigger play that's happening. And it's something that we're trying to do to try to keep the world reserve dollar. We with all the trade deals and all these other things that we got going on, it's like we trying to fix the financial system, and blockchain technology is a part of that. Like it's at the head of it. And they realize that now. And now they're like, what do we have to do to fix it so that we can do it in a timely manner that we can still keep control? And that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They want control.
It's not that they're realizing it now. They've had this plan for 20 plus years.
You're right. You're right.
This is the moment that they're switching it over that they've been talking about for so long. And they're dropping the clues, they're dropping the nuggets for us to see and for us to understand that we're about to walk in to a completely new financial system. A great example, I know I'm probably, as far as Flare is concerned, the biggest moon boy on Flare in the room. But I love Flare, what they're doing over there, the institutional decentralized finance that they're building. I'm plugged into Flare on the next round I finally got it figured out. On the next round Thursday morning, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna put a good portion of my portfolio, not the whole thing. And the reason that I even say that is because there's this concept of impermanent loss when you do put your assets into pools that trade. If under the event that my XRP that's bridged into Flare, the FXRP, under the event that XRP does surge drastically, I might end up with a little less XRP in that pool than I started with and a little more cash. In the event that it does skyrocket in a very short amount of time. But at the same time, this type of technology, whether it be now or whether it be on the other side of that type of drastic pump, allows for decentralized banks. It allows for us to be able to move and transfer value instantaneously outside of the traditional banking system. And when all of that traditional money comes on board and starts using these things, that's just going to and that's the moment that we're at. FXR
Right.
Flare just went live less than a month ago. We're at that point where, and there's a few other big ones like Axelar, they've got a pretty big pool now of the MXRP in their liquidity pools. But we're at that moment where the old financial system, the old banks are adopting. And we know November 22nd is when they have to have it done. So that is what's happening right now. Just saw the biggest liquidation event in history. And it's got me more bullish than I've ever been in my entire life. Let's go.
Look, I was so excited. I was talking to my parents and they was like, well, this is a time that we would probably sell. I said, no, this is the time that you buy. You
Yeah.
back the truck up in this moment. You gotta back the truck up, you know. And so it was just funny, like, because I was really like smiling, happy, like that, because and I'm also thinking like, well, we were waiting for the liquidation moment. We didn't know if this is the pullback, is that the pullback. We knew we needed another pullback before we go up, right? So like I was just waiting, like, is this a pullback or is this just a little small pullback? We got the mega pullback. So now I'm like, it's only a matter of time. Like we're going up.
Yeah. So many exchanges were down, you know, like you were talking about Uphold. I had friends text me that were trying to buy on Robinhood. Coinbase wasn't working. Binance wasn't working. Kraken wasn't working. None of the exchanges were up. Like you couldn't even catch those bottoms.
Right. It was
Couldn't.
weird. And
Yeah.
I think that's a big key thing for a lot of people, like having a good exit plan, because that could happen. That's selling and trying to buy. Like just imagine trying when it go up and how that's gonna look.
Yeah, it really makes the case for institutions like Caleb and Brown and a few other guys. A little disappointed with some of these exchanges. I mean, it's 2025, and guys, we can't handle this. It makes me really concerned, greatly
Yes.
concerned. And I also feel like they have the capability to handle it, and they're just using this as a disguise to prevent people from making lucrative trades or buying the absolute bottom of a dip or selling at the top. Makes you
Yep.
question a lot as well.
And though for Uphold to be such a big part of the XRP community, I was like, I really did feel like I was like they kind of let me down, because I was like, man, like we really support y'all a ton. You know what I mean? And you know, that's an exchange that I've been using since I got into crypto. So I got a lot of loyalty to them. But at the same time, it's like Binance, like even Coinbase is very slow. Like they could not handle like
It was
just
everywhere.
the traffic alone. Like it's like, and like you said, like you playing with people money, because they missed out on those trades, but these exchanges still made money. Like Binance, they getting killed right now because they like made all this money off of it, but they wouldn't allow their people that's consumers couldn't make any money. So like they stopped everybody else, but they made a ton of money. It's like that don't make sense. And now they like, well, we want to give you a reward. It's like the reward is to let me get my money. Like let
Yeah.
me get my money.
It's too late.
XRP dropped down to like 77 cents, $1.38. Like, come on, man.
77 cents on Binance. And so just because I know this math, I'm going to share it. But that, like I said, the only other time that there's been this type of percentage pullback in XRP in such a short amount of time, a flash crash like that, was December 2017. From the bottom of that wick to the top, XRP went up 680x. So if XRP were to do the same thing from a 77-cent bottom, we'd be looking at about a $525 XRP
Incredible. Yeah.
in 6 weeks. In 6 weeks, if it did the same thing.
And like you said, and we got way more bullish information that's happened. Like we know that crypto is here now. That was when we didn't know if crypto was going to be around in the next 5. We just was speculating. Now we got governments talking about crypto.
Totally.
My goodness, that
Yeah.
sounds
That would be insane. Within those 6 weeks, like 6 weeks from today, we could have ETFs, we could have the Clarity Act passed. There's a lot of real stuff that never was even on the docket back then. It wasn't even,
Correct.
no one was even thinking about it. It was a figment of imagination. Now it's a reality. So yeah, what was it? 680x? Is that what you said? Wow. Yeah, it could happen. Anything could happen.
I just think it could happen because, like you said, everything that we have on the docket right now, and we never had that. It was all speculation, and it was all retail.
Pure retail speculation. Yep.
Retail speculation. Now we got institutions who understand what's going on probably way better than we do, and they like, okay, it's time to push this up.
And as the institutions come alive, there is no pump it up and dump it to the, like they need
Correct.
the high prices. And for anybody that, you know, there's probably no one watching our show that believes in market cap that much. But for anyone that does, it's just, you know, you've got to understand, one, there's no way Bitcoin could be $2.5 trillion already if market cap mattered. You know, why is it already the 5th, 6th, 7th largest asset in the world? There's no way it would be that large if market cap was relevant, for one. But for two, market, that's something I was going to say there about market cap. But for two, oh yeah, this is what I was going to say. Says we're moving into this whole new world, such as, you know, like we got SpaceX, we've got space exploration. Who knows what the heck is going to happen? Why would these type of assets even be tied to a fiat currency or the dollar as we're becoming intergalactic? Like, are fiat dollars going to matter at that point? Absolutely not. It's about
Correct.
instantaneous transfer of value. And that's what it's going to all be about, the liquidity of these things to be able to move value very quickly, high amounts of value without making the liquidity change and for the price of things to change drastically based on very large value being transferred. So, we're right at that point. It's here.
It is. And we say it all the time. This is an entirely new asset class. And that at this point, I feel like might just be a tagline for us, but that is the fact. It is an entirely new asset class. And people can't even wrap their minds around that. For instance, XRP is a digital asset in an entirely new asset class that's going to facilitate the transfer of wealth, the movement of money. And $1 can move across a border countless times. And people don't even take that into consideration when they try to factor market cap.
Exactly.
It's really hard to wrap your mind around, to be completely honest.
Because it's
I
more
think
than
that's
just all the money. It's everything in value and all real estate, all precious metals.
Tokenization is a real thing. I mean, Ondo is making a ton of progress with tokenization, and it is. Sorry, my dog's broke in here. I apologize.
Professionals here. We love the
Yeah.
dog. You come say hi.
They're too smart. They can open the doors, break in, see what I'm doing. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. Yeah.
No, but like I do think that like the
So-
tokenization part of it is key because people when they talk about market caps, they don't take that in consideration. They
No.
don't take in consideration that these institutions needed to be a higher price in order for them to move the money that they're gonna be moving. I think they base it off of like stocks and retail, and I'm like, well, that's not the same thing that these assets are going to be really controlling. It's more for institutions and countries. Like we got countries that's going to be investing in this stuff and utilizing it. So the market
stocks-
cap to me is just something to like isolate people to like keep them from thinking about these. I get it. Like you don't have to be like a moon boy and think it's going to 10,000. I always say like we need to like be realistic, but like if you think that it can never get to $10,000, that's my issue. Cause it's like, are you really watching what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Because nobody thought Bitcoin was going to be $100,000 either.
but
And it doesn't have anything that it don't have any of the utility that XRP has.
Exactly.
Zero. So
yeah. And here we are. So it's going to be a fun week, guys. As we wrap up here, any predictions for this week to come? I mean, it's hard to predict things right now. It's everything that's going on in the world. We've got, peace deals, trade deals, government shutdown, 50% of the IRS getting furloughed. So much could happen.
I'm thinking that this week we're gonna see a trend up. I think it all depends on Monday though. Like I think that when the markets come back live on Monday, if we may see a small pullback, but then I think from there it'll go up. I don't think it's gonna be the same huge pullback, but I think that the markets go live again on Monday. I think it's gonna be a little bit of excess, like people coming still trying to sell, trying to figure it out. And I think from there we're gonna start seeing it trend up. I just got a feeling that like by the end of the week, we're gonna start seeing something really big happen.
It's going to start going fast.
I hope
And it's gonna be fast.
I hope you're right. I actually could see another little dip on Monday, to be honest with you. And then I think we are going to see a big turn towards the north here. I do.
Yeah. I think the next dip is even shorter, followed by instantaneous.
Yeah. Yep.
They'll have to get whoever got in at a 33x at 240 on XRP. They have to get liquidated,
I'm sorry, guys, you're gonna get liquidated.
Yeah, get out of your trades when you're in profit, man. That's the moral of the story with what
Sure.
happened this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, this was a blast. I had so much fun hanging out with you guys as always. For everyone listening, we're going to be back at it. We're going to be doing this once a week. The three of us here, plus our man XRP Sean. He's going to be back joining us after his journey of producing his short film. So we'll be excited to have him back. And next Sunday, we're going to have probably a lot more to even talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With that, guys, I'm Will Carr Speaks. It's great being here. We got Duran, Phil.
Throw heavy.
Love you
Thanks
guys.
for having us back, Will. Always fun time, man. Great seeing
Yeah,
you guys.
man. Good time, man. I'm glad we back, man. I'm glad we back.
Absolutely. This was fun. See you guys.
See you guys.
Here's one of the little guys.